Hi everybody, this is Amy Conn. I'm here with a Power Flow Yoga today. I'm naming this series, I'm calling it Yoga Wednesday Challenge. Okay, so what that means is every Wednesday for the next 3 classes, we're going to be working on a particular area of our body and where it is in space and practicing one particular challenging pose. I don't want you to get nervous about it, but I would like you to allow a space like a wall. We're going to be using the wall as a prop for a few of our poses. I am also sitting on a rolled up mat, so you may want to sit upon a pillow or something that makes you comfortable in your seat. Lastly is I am wearing this shirt, and it represents the color and the number of chakra, the 7th chakra, which is the Crown Chakra, Sahasrara. And the Crown Chakra, which can ever so slightly hover right above our head. And it is essentially, without going into too much depth, it is essentially awareness of consciousness, a rise of consciousness, and then the awareness of it. And today, in today's world right now, we are vibrating at this like nervous level of energy. And I think by being aware of that, then we can do the opposite of what we're representing, which is calming our body down. So I'm wearing this today because we have been practicing for several Wednesdays now on building our foundation, moving with breath up above our foundation, and now Sahasrara, where we are aware of our consciousness. One of the things that we can do to practice the 7th chakra is by chanting Om. And when you think of Om, it is all the vowels, so A-E-I-O-U, Om. And it also begins at the back of your mouth and goes forward and ends with your lips. So closing there. So I know that many of you feel awkward in chanting Om. I'd like us to just try, as Katie Shifkin often says, just find your voice. Don't worry about it. And we'll just chant one Om to open up our practice this morning. Finding a comfortable seat, inhaling your arms up, hands to heart space, taking a breath in, and chanting Om. Om. One of the definitions I've heard about Om is that it is the collective sound of all the people in the world. It is also the sound that the universe would make. And then if you were a Trekkie fan, you'd say, but there's no sound in space. So I'm going to let you decide, but I like to go with, if all the people in the world were to be able to make one sound, that sound that would be heard would be Om. Okay. Finding a comfortable seat, rooting down through your sits bones, inhaling up through the crown of our head. We're just going to find and breathe in our seat before we begin our challenge. Taking a comfortable, soft gaze or closing your eyes altogether. While you're in this seat, scanning your body to assure that you are in alignment with your body, that you're working with your body and not against your body. Inhaling up through the crown of the head and rooting down through the sits bones upon exhalation. I'm going to have my palms up today as I am in need of a little bit of more energy. And when I cup my palms, that allows me to collect any energy that may be in the room. So I inhale through the crown of my head and exhale without collapse through my sits bones. Taking 3 more rounds of breath, being conscious of my equal and even breathing. As my breath work inhales and expands my lungs, my breath work includes exhaling completely, drawing in my belly button towards my spine. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Nice work, everybody. Great. Let's come forward into all fours, just kind of slowly opening up the body. All right. Taking your hands below your shoulders and your knees below your hips, just gently inhale, extend long in your cow pose. Exhale, draw your belly in, your head down, cat pose. Inhale, elongate. Exhale, draw belly in, round your back. Let's do 2 more rounds of this. Moving your body, undulating your spine, and coordinating your body with your breath. Nice work. On this ending of this second breath, this second round of breath, I'd like you now to move in the way that your body is wanting to move. So if you are wanting to come into a figure 8 or circulating your hips, or perhaps coming back down into a child's pose, reaching long with your hands, and then inhaling up, perhaps coming into an up dog. I really want you to move your body the way your body is asking you to move it today. Now, that can be different than what I'm doing. I just want you to do something that makes your body feel good. So move your body with your breath. You may be feeling some spaces that are opening up gradually or gently, or perhaps you're hearing noises like creaking bones. Yep, that's me. Inhale, exhale. As we move our body with breath, we are raising the consciousness and mindfulness of where our body is in space, even when we manipulate its orientation. So that's a little bit about what we're going to be doing today. But also mindfulness, connecting the dots between where your mind and your body are right now. Is it on some list? Is it reading some internet news that's upsetting? Are you all caught up in the politics? Or are you letting that go and you're just able to pay attention to yourself? Hopefully, the latter. Let's roll over our toes into downward facing dog. And as we were in all fours, find ease in your downward facing dog. As you bicycle your heels out one at a time, pushing away with your hands. So you're pushing away, bending your knees dramatically, lifting your bum up, as if you have like a seatbelt wrapped around your lower abdominal and you're reaching up, up, up towards the sky with it. I don't care if you have long legs or not. You could also bicycle one heel down to just practice elongating the hamstrings. Maybe that's not where your body is right now, or maybe it is, but just still preferring the bicycle method. If you're able to put both heels down, fabulous, but not required. Great.
Let's take a step forward and just come into our forward bend. In our forward bend, I want you to grasp your elbows in your forward bend and just feeling this ragdoll pose, just feeling your head kind of hang. But what I also would like you to do is I want you to lift up through your sits bones. So you're rooting down through your feet, lifting up through your sits bones in this forward bend. Drawing your belly in, lifting up through your sits bones, swaying and relaxing the upper part of your body. Shaking your head yes and no, swaying side to side. Elongate your spine. Inhale long, monkey pose. Exhale, forward bend. With this next pose, I want you to bend your left knee and plant your right hand out in front of both feet, but in between, so like a triangle. Inhale your left arm up. This gentle twist. Exhale, replace and switch out the hands. I'm going to turn around. And then bend the right knee. Inhale up with the right hand. Gentle twist. Exhale, forward bend. Elongate the spine. Exhale, forward bend. Great. Coming all the way up, I want you to take your hands to your hips and with a long back, inhale up. Coming all the way up towards the ceiling. Hands to heart space. Great job. We're going to do just some easy sun salutations just to kind of warm up and get our breath maybe rapidly moving to warm up our body. Inhale up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, elongate. Exhale, jump or step back. In plank pose. Exhale, roll forward. Exhale, all the way down. Inhale, up dog. Rolling over the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg back, squaring off that hip. Toes pointed down, as if you're putting a footprint on the wall behind you. Open up that hip, stacking the right hip over the left. Go ahead and bend that right knee. And keeping that knee as you circulate it in its container. Hold the container. Energetically move that right knee within its container. Good. Stacking the right hip over the left, elongating the leg, squaring off the hip again. Exhale, let's bring that knee in and up towards our chest, and then plant it in between our hands. Inhale, coming up to crescent lunge. We're going to repeat the process on the other side. Exhale, come down, plank pose, all the way down, chaturanga. Inhale up, exhale, rolling over the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg back, squaring up the hips, reaching with that left heel, reaching with that heel. Then stacking that left hip over the right, bending that left knee, circulating within that container, clockwise, then counterclockwise, elongating the leg, squaring the hips, bringing that left knee in and up, and then planting it in between our hands. Inhale up, crescent lunge. Wonderful. Exhale, come all the way down, chaturanga once again. Exhale all the way down. Inhale up, rolling over the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg again, bringing it forward into our crescent lunge. So we've been here before. You could bring your hands to your hips if you like, or up all the way. Exhale, warrior two. In warrior two, find your comfortable pose. Find the pose that's most energetic for you, that holds energy. Feel the comfort of this pose. Good. Inhale, reverse warrior or exalted warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle pose. Inhale, warrior two. Windmill that back arm forward, chaturanga. Inhale up. Roll over the toes. Downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg back, bringing it in and up. Crescent lunge. In crescent lunge, root to rise. So when you are in crescent lunge, you are rooting down through your feet and really pressing down with the feet, the pads of the back foot. So the back heel is up and the front foot, all four corners. Inhaling up, exhale, warrior two. I made my adjustments with my feet, so my front heel is dissecting the arch of the back foot. Inhale. Reaching long. Reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior two. And then taking that back arm, windmilling, coming forward, chaturanga. Inhaling up. Exhale, warrior, downward facing dog. Very good. All right, we're going to do one more round of sun salutations, and then we're going to start opening up our body towards our challenging pose. Inhaling right leg, bringing it in and up. Exhale, planting that foot, crescent lunge. I want you to open up to warrior two, extending long with your warrior two. Good. Feeling sturdy, root to rise, so you're planting down through your feet. Your shoulders are not up by your ears. Extending long, active fingers. Reverse warrior. Reaching up. You could take this back arm if you want, wrap it around your body. Feel the pose before you escape out of it. Have a consciousness about where your body is in space. Be mindful of your alignment. Don't go into a pose and be sloppy about it, because I don't want you to hurt yourself. Be aware of your body in space. Exhale, warrior two. Side angle pose. Breathing into the side body. Elongate active fingers with that upper arm. Inhale, warrior two. Windmill that back arm forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg, reaching back, stepping forward. Inhale up. Crescent lunge. In your crescent lunge, I want you to be able to feel all the edges, the four corners of that front foot, so your inner and outer edges of that front foot, and the inner and edge of the back pads of that foot. So you're finding your stability. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior two. Side angle. Breathing into the side body. Warrior two. Windmill that back arm forward, chaturanga. In chaturanga, I actually would like you, so we're in up dog, when you come on down, we're going to be doing Spider-Man Cobra. So taking your hands wide, pushing down with your fingertips, inhale up. Exhale, dropping your left shoulder down, making a little bit of a twist here. Inhale up. Exhale, right shoulder down. Inhale up. Exhale, left shoulder down. Inhale up. Right shoulder. Very good. Inhale up. Wonderful. Come all the way down. We're going to be coming into what's called shoulder pigeon. Shoulder pigeon is going to help us open up our upper body as we're going to be needing to use our upper body for our challenge pose. So come on down to the left side of your yoga mat and extend your right arm long. So you're on your belly. You're extending your right arm long. As you do this, you're going to be rolling over onto that right shoulder and gently bringing that left foot down to the yoga mat. So that's the back version. I'm going to show you the front version now. So my right leg is long and my left foot is on the mat or on the ground. This is not a pose you want to rush into. It's a pose you want to breathe into. When you disconnect from your body, then that's often when injuries occur. So we want to make sure that you connect to your body. And we could do that through mindful breathing, through a higher consciousness of who we are and how we relate to the space around us and the community around us. Even if that community is 3 yoga mats. Two more breaths. And coming out of that pose, great job. Move over to the right side of the mat. I'll show you both versions again. So as you're on the right side of the mat, you're going to extend long your left arm, walking your fingers away from your body as you roll over onto the shoulder. Planting that right foot onto the ground, bending that right knee, and extending, elongating that left leg. I'll roll over, showing you both sides. If you feel like you can take this a little bit farther, listen to your body. Maybe you could plant both feet on the mat. Maybe you can bring both knees up towards the ceiling. That is really your call. I want you to listen to your body. Each side may be a little bit different than the other. One side may be more flexible, the other side may be stronger. Our bodies are not symmetrical on either side. We're asymmetrical. Slowly rolling out of the pose and coming into downward facing dog. Widen your knees, having your big toes touch, and rest your belly down in between your knees. With your hands, I want you to reach forward with your hands, walking your fingers forward, and then walking your fingers over to the right side, keeping your forehead pressed down into the yoga mat. Fingers walking over to the right side. So now this stretch goes from your fingertips diagonally through your body and through the lower left back. Breathing into your back body. So as you expand the muscles that are being twisted on the back body, you're oxygenating these muscles. And then when you release and exhale, you're releasing any tension or stress or anxiety that you may be feeling that's located in your body. You're releasing it. You're letting it go. So resume. Go back to that. If you've come out of it, go back into it. Walking your hands forward again. And then walking your hands to the left side. So as you walk your hands to the left side, really reach from fingertips to lower right back. Breathing into the spaces that you are creating, exhaling the breath out. Walking your fingers forward, away from your body. Inhaling up, coming into Hero's Pose. Great. So in Hero's Pose, we're just going to take a moment to just listen to our body and see how it feels. So as we open up our body, we may feel a vibration that is warming, also has some energy in it. So just sitting tall for a moment, resting your hands upon your thighs, your quads, inhaling up through the crown of the head, exhaling down through the sits bones. Great. Wonderful. Well, coming forward onto hands and knees, and then roll over your toes and stand, come into a standing position. This is where I'd like you to go to the wall. All right, so you're going to go to your nearest wall, and I'd like you to have your right shoulder against the wall, but about 12 to 18 inches away. Okay, then look down at your feet. Make sure that your feet are underneath your hips and your hips are underneath your shoulders. So you're lined up in this vertical position, right? Okay, inhale your right arm up, palm towards the brick or the wall. And just kind of feel that hand press against the wall. How does that feel to you? What I don't want is that you turn and face the wall. I don't want you to have your arm dictate where your shoulder alignment is. So your shoulder, you're square towards the forward wall, and the wall to the right, so you're perpendicular. Now, slowly, and maybe putting your hand on your hip will help in keeping you square. I want you to slowly walk the fingers away. I'm going to adjust. And you're going to find that you may have a stopping point that's different than the other side. And then when you feel that edge, I want you to breathe to that space, okay? As you breathe into that space, you're opening up your chest muscles, you're opening up your shoulder socket. You are allowing you to make those subtle adjustments so you know exactly where you are in space. Maybe walk a little bit more. And then coming out of the pose. Shake it out, maybe circulate. I like to circle my shoulder to remind it that it's a healthy shoulder, that it can make all these movements. All right, other side.
12 to 18 inches, feet at hip bone distance apart. Inhale the left arm up. I like to take my hand to my hip to kind of squarely keep my hips in alignment. I'm looking at the wall in front of me. I'm not facing the wall that's beside me. Walking my hands slowly back, finding my edge, and I do discover that my movement with this shoulder is way more open and flexible than the right shoulder. As I walk the hands back, I find an edge, I breathe and hold that. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. As I walk a little bit more, I may be able to open up a little bit more than I did on the other side. I find the edge, I breathe into that space that I've created. And I try to put into practice all the things that we've been talking about, that even and equal breath. So as I inhale, I'm going to try to exhale with the same amount of duration, velocity, intensity. Equal and even breathing. This is, again, something you don't want to rush. Shaking that arm out, circulating it clockwise, counterclockwise. When we are opening up our body or challenging it in certain ways, giving it, asking it to move in space a little differently than we're accustomed to, you don't want to rush that process. Your body is smart and it holds muscle memory, and we want to make sure that we're gaining its trust. So then when it learns that it can do this, then that's your new starting point. Okay, so now I want you to take your mat and do it lay it perpendicular to the wall. All right. So you're going to be placing the soles of your feet against the wall. And again, I still like to keep space in between my knees, that hip bone distance space. My feet are paralleling with my knees, okay? 90-degree angles. Great. And then I'm going to place my shoulders, my wrists underneath my shoulders. Good. So I'm in this all four hands and knees pose, and what I'm going to be doing is pushing down into the ground and coming into a short downward facing dog. It's going to feel awkward, but I want you to hold that pose, that short dog. Okay, here we go. Your toes are on the ground, but your heels can be up on the wall. Draw your belly in, hug the eyes of the elbows in towards each other like you're squeezing a big beach ball. Shaking your head yes and no. You can bend your knees. Your heels are planted on the wall, and you're just upside down. It's always good if you can practice getting your hips up over your heart and your heart up over your head. If that's possible, that kind of shifts the energetic energy inside of you. So it's that frown turned upside down pose. That's what I like to call it. So it helps you in bringing your energy up, reversing the flow. Okay, let's go back to that same pose. I may challenge you a little bit more with it, so pay attention. Okay, aligning your body, heels up against the wall, toes on the yoga mat, wrists underneath the shoulders, pushing down to rise. Hugging in with the eyes of the elbow, maybe plant one foot on the wall. And then switch out, plant the left foot on the wall.
If you know that you can come right up to an L pose, then go ahead and do so. I'm just breaking this down. Right foot on the wall. Maybe I push into the wall and I am able to lift that left leg. Maybe I just bring it up off the ground and then put it back on the ground.
Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm shifting gravity. I'm shifting the energy. I'm using the wall as a prop and I'm pushing against it. And then I'm going to lift my hips above my shoulders. If I walk my hands away, then I'm going to be at this funny diagonal, this slash mark. I don't want that. I want an L, the 90 degrees. That's what I'm asking for. That will be stronger. You could rest on your bones that way and not exhaust or fatigue your muscles. Okay, let's try it again.
Lining up, pushing down, short, awkward dog, right foot against the wall, pushing against the wall, and see if you can get both feet next to each other. And I'd like you to focus on bringing your bum towards the center of the room. Shoulders are above your wrists. Drawing in with your belly. Shaking your head yes and no. Coming down. Good. So the tendency may also be that you want your feet to go up higher. And though your shoulders may be above your wrists, which is a good thing, your feet may be too high and you then become, well, you're really becoming more of a handstand. So if you're ready for that, fabulous. What I still want you to do is try the L first, okay? Okay, now your wrists may be getting a little fatigued. So let's just try bending the fingers back and reaching forward with the heel of the hand. Reaching forward with the heel of the hand, having each finger come back, and just feeling the stretch right here. Other side, reaching through the heel of the hand, elongating the arm, good. Circulating outward, circles, and then inward. Good. Shaking out, coming back. A trick that we've talked about in the past as well is the gecko grip. If you can gecko grip the mat, it will help save that wrist and ask the whole arm to hold up the body, not just this tiny joint, this wrist. Okay. Gecko grip. Coming into the short dog. Pressing into the wall. L pose. Bum going into the center of the room. If you're ready, you can lift the right leg up in towards your handstand pose. Reverse the other leg. Then let's bring that left leg all the way down towards the mat. Come into hero's pose.
That was excellent. You need to congratulate your body. Good job. Nice work. Great. Okay, so where are we going with this? I thought that was done. Are we done yet? No, don't order yet. There's more. I want you to try this on your forearms. So those that are like, well, there's no way, I have a wrist injury and I'm not going to be doing this, try it on your forearms. So now your forearms, your elbows are below your shoulders, and you may want to do the number 11, or you may want to clasp your hands at the top. Okay. Coming into that dolphin pose, so your hips go up, your toes are on the mat, heels are on the wall, and you come into this L forearm pose. So your bottom is again coming into the center of the room, drawing in with your belly, pushing down into the yoga mat. Coming on down, you can take child's pose. Wide knee, rest your belly down into in between your thighs and your forehead, resting down into the mat, breathing. So your you may become, your nervous tension may have just been accelerated and enhanced a bit. I want you to calm your nervous system down by breathing, and child's pose is a great place to be in. If you're feeling a little bit dizzy, child's pose is a great place to be in. So pressing your forearm down into the mat, breathing into your front and back body, calming your nervous system down, and then also feeling a little bit fabulous because you were able to do this challenging pose. Okay. All right. We have one more pose, and then we're ready to begin our cool down process. Okay, meet me up in hero's pose again. Good. We're going to go back to that dolphin forearm L pose against the wall. So come into that position. Line your body up, elbows below your shoulders, clasping, pushing down with the whole forearm from wrist to elbow, and even the side of the hands. I want you to press down. So now your footprint for this pose is pretty long because it's the whole length of your forearm. Pushing down, lifting up with your hips. Pushing down, lifting up. Right foot against the wall, pushing away from the wall. Your bottom goes in towards the center of the room. Inhale your right leg up. Replace that foot. Inhale your left leg up. Reaching up towards the ceiling. And then bring that left foot all the way down towards the mat, coming down, child's pose. Resting your head in between your thighs, your belly. Rest in between your thighs. Breathing into your back body. Feeling proud about your accomplishments. When we shift our body upside down, it really does help change the mood. When I am feeling nervous, or I'm about to give a speech, or I'm anxious about the company I'm with, I'll go into another space, flip myself into a handstand or a headstand or something, just to shift the energy, just to make it a little bit more positive for myself as well as for everybody around me. Okay. When you're ready, join me on your back. Great. Coming onto your back, hugging your knees in towards your chest, rocking side to side, hugging the right knee in, elongating that left leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, that left leg drops. Inhale, left knee in. Exhale, left knee up. It's like a slow bicycle, just kind of focusing on the movement of one leg and the strength of your lower abdominal muscles. Switching out. Hug your left knee in, extend your right leg up, slowly drop it, extend long, bringing that left knee in, right foot up, so sorry. Right knee in, right foot up, and then hug both knees in again. And then come into a full happy baby. In your happy baby, I want you to draw your knees down in towards your armpits and push the soles of your feet against your hands, pushing them up towards the ceiling. Good. Your tailbone should not be coming up or rolling up towards the sky. What I want you to do is have your tailbone come down, elongating your spine so your tailbone
is coming down towards the yoga mat. I want you to envision this very, very long spine from your tailbone all the way along the spine through the crown of the head. Half happy baby, elongating that left leg, hugging in that right knee in towards your armpit. Elongating that left psoas, just kind of massaging that hip flexor. Switching out legs. Extending that right leg long, massaging that hip flexor. Keeping active feet, active toes, active legs. You want to not have any appendages just hanging in space. When you do that, then it puts stress on the joint above it. So if my foot was flaccid and not flexed or not pointed, it's putting stress on my knee, but really on my hip. So I want to activate my leg to support that joint. Hugging both knees in, side to side. Great. Extending the left leg long and the right leg, here's a variation that you could do. You can weave your hands along the belly of the right thigh or the calf if you have more flexibility, or grabbing onto the outer edge of the right foot. I want you to inhale that right leg towards the right and then gaze towards the left, squaring off both shoulders, overlooking your left shoulder as you reach with that right heel towards the right. Great. Inhale. If you want, you can have that left hand come to the ASAS, that bump, that pelvic bump on your left side, and just kind of keep it from rolling over to the right. Inhale, right leg up. This is where I like to shift, so I inhale my hips up, pivot them to the right, and then I cross my right leg over my body. So in this twist, my left leg is long, my right leg is doing its best to stay straight. I'm in a spinal twist with a long leg, so that spinal right leg twist as I overlook my right shoulder. Breathing into my side body, at least 5 breaths in this twist. After your 5th breath, inhale that right leg up towards the ceiling, hug both feet, knees in towards the body. Nice work. Okay, we're going to repeat the process on the left side. So I want you to extend your right leg, grabbing that, supporting that left leg with the belly of the thigh, the calf of the leg, or the outer edge of the left foot. Elongate up towards the ceiling and then reaching it towards the left side, opening up. You could take that right hand and on the protrusion of on your pelvic bone, I want you to secure it down as you reach with the heels of each foot. Breathing into this opening, breathing into this space. You might find that if you bend and then extend, that maybe you can extend a little bit farther. Again, I want you to be mindful of your spine, mindful of your extension, mindful of ligaments and tendons.
Work with your body and not against your body. Inhale up towards the ceiling. Here's where I like to take that pivot. So I inhale up and I move my hips over to the left side of the mat. And then I feel comfortable allowing that left leg to cross over my body with extension, twisting, breathing. So this one's a little bit tighter. It's really calling into this hip. So I'm going to bend and extend. I'm going to be mindful of the sensitivity of my leg right now. I'm just going to practice bending and extending. I'm really reaching through my heel. Each heel. Extending long, breathing into my twist. Inhale that left leg up towards the ceiling. Joining the right leg up towards the ceiling. And feeling that balance, the heels up over the hips. I teach a yoga and cancer class, and there was this one woman who loved to take Shavasana like this. Sometimes she would even take Shavasana on an elevated block or a rolled up mat. So what she would do is, and she claimed it was so good for her neuropathy at the soles of her feet. So she would elevate her bum up, and then she would have her heels, her ankles above her hips. And this was her favorite Shavasana pose. So I'm not asking you to take this as Shavasana, but maybe get into it for just a moment. Exhale, bend the knees, come down. Let's adjust this mat. If you have a rolled up mat, you're welcome to do this, to place it where that bro line is on your back. And open up. And this may be a fabulous pose for your opening up that upper back. Having your hands out to the side, breathing into your belly. Opening up your chest. Two more rounds of breath. After your second round of breath, roll over to your side, come up, and then assess your body again, the way that we began. Do you need to take another upside down pose? Is a headstand pose calling you right now? Or do you need to take another spinal twist? Is there a pose that you can take before we rest in final resting pose in Shavasana? Come to that pose. Or if you are ready and you want to just jump into Shavasana, please feel free to do so. Find the best, most comfortable pose where you can feel weighted, heavy into your yoga mat. You're allowing gravity to take you down, and you, at the same time, you're allowing the mat to hold you up. Breathe freely through your mouth and your nose. If you are not already in Shavasana, find your way there. Let your next exhalation be longer than the previous one. Rolling over to your side body, feeling the new orientation of this body against the earth. And slowly push down into the ground to rise up to a comfortable cross-legged seated position. As we began, I'd like us to take an Om again, but this time we're going to inhale our arms up. When they press in towards each other up here, I want us to Om all the way down to our heart. Ready? Inhale. Exhale. Om. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I so appreciate you joining me for our Yoga Wednesday challenge, and I look forward to seeing you each Wednesday and continue practicing. All right, thank you. Namaste.